Hello, my name is Chris, and this is Writing Delight. At first glance, the Hugo Boss Arcade Gun reminds me of the Arc Splendor, a limited edition model from the same brand. And yet, it is more than just a pared-down version, a new nib, a new balance, a surprisingly practical development. Let's take a closer look. The pen comes in a Hugo Boss standard packaging, a matte black outer sleeve, from which the equally matte black box can be slid out, both featuring the logo. The presentation is simple, yet refined. The body is made of metal with a gunmetal finish, a dark, slightly shimmering shade of grey. A deep longitudinal groove pattern runs across the entire surface, adding texture without being intrusive. The clip is wide and functionally solid. The cap is a slip cap and can be removed easily, with a noticeably, yet not overly firm, resistance. The large nib stands out immediately. Hugo Boss has been using the nib sizes in several models since this year, and the Arcade Gun is among the first regular models to feature it. In the macro shots you can see the fine details clearly, from the grooves to the engravings to the well-crafted nib. Without the cap, the Arcade Gun sits comfortably and well balanced in the hand. Being a metal pen, it is not light. With the cap posted, the balance shifts noticeably towards the back, but it remains manageable. Even then, the pen is still perfectly usable, albeit a little back-heavy. For me, this works well, but of course, that's a matter of personal preference. To me, the Arcade Gun recalls the Arc Splendor in several aspects, especially the material and surface design. However, the Arc Splendor's grooves are clearly wider and more pronounced, giving it a more striking appearance. The Arc's cap, in my opinion, was unusually large, making the pen feel somewhat top-heavy. The Arcade takes a different approach. The cap is still larger than on many pens, but appears more refined and slimmer overall. As a result, the pen feels better suited for everyday use. The larger nib blends seamlessly into the overall design, both functionally and visually. This combination of a slimmer cap and a larger nib makes the Arcade an interesting fountain pen. One that could just as easily have come from a leather brand. I'm curious, which nib size do you prefer? The more compact version from the Arc Splendor or the new larger one in the Arcade? And why? Let me know in the comments. Here's the Arcade alongside the Visconti Homo sapiens, the Platinum Plaisir, the Diplomat Skyline Red, the Stettler 474, and the Lamy Safari. Closed, the Arcade Gun is roughly in line with the other pens. Uncapped, it's among the shorter models, only the Plaisir is more compact. Posted, it is the shortest in the group. Let's take a quick look at the technical details. As always, you'll also find them in the video description. Here's the second size comparison, this time with the Clio Scribent Aura Laguna Dragon, the Online Eleganza, the Monteverde Invincia, the Le Pelican Pura, and the Waldmann Commander. Closed, the Arcade Gun sits in the middle of this group. Uncapped, it's among the larger pens. Posted, it's one again, the shortest. I fitted the pen with a converter, which, by the way, is not included. I've inked it with the Lierre Sauvage by Herbin, a rich ivy green. The nib is softer than on earlier Hugo Boss pens, likely due to its larger size. With a bit of pressure you can achieve a nice degree of line variation. The writing feel is pleasant, with light feedback. A writing experience that's simply enjoyable. For me, the Hugo Boss Arcade Gun is an intriguing model, especially when compared to the Arc Splendor. I can't say for sure whether it's intended as a direct successor or simply draw strong inspiration from it, but to me the resemblance is clear. And in fact, I prefer the arcade. The cap is slimmer, the proportions more balanced, and it feels much better suited for everyday use. The groove pattern is of course noticeable to the touch, but not in an unpleasant way. I'm especially pleased with the new, larger nib. Hugo Boss announced that this change would be rolled out this year, though not all models feature it yet. Whether every future model will include it remains to be seen, but it certainly sounded that way. One important note: older models cannot be retrofitted. They will continue to be sold with a smaller nib. For me, this new nib makes a real difference. It rides more pleasantly with a slightly softer feel and allows for subtle line variation. The writing performance is controlled with light feedback, overall very satisfying. Of course, the arcade is a metal pen, which might not be for everyone. It has a certain weight that you notice while writing. The grip section is also metal, which not everyone likes. Ultimately, how comfortable it feels will depend on personal preference. Thanks to its concave shape though, the finger sits securely, better than on many other metal sections. Overall, I see the arcade gun as a well-designed functional pen. Not a collector's piece, but one I enjoy using. It's also a sign that Hugo Boss is moving in a very promising direction. Many thanks to Hugo Boss for providing this review sample. And thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this review, I'd appreciate it if you subscribed and let me know your thoughts on the pen in the comments. See you next time.